What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, in this video, I want to wish LeBron James a happy birthday for one, and I also want to talk about a couple of theories I have. Now, number one, LeBron James reaches 35 years of age today. All right, and I know there's some people like, well, what's the big deal in that? Whatever. Look, there have been some players, some athletes who were not fortunate to reach that age. All right, for whatever reason. They were not fortunate to reach that particular age. Um, and as far as basketball is concerned, you think about Hank Gathers, who never even made it to the NBA because he died prematurely. You think of Len Bias. You think of Lorenzen Wright, who was brutally murdered. You think of Robert Tractor Trailer, who died prematurely. I think he was 34 years old. You think of Reggie Lewis, who was on his way to become one of the best players in the NBA, just entering his prime at age 27 when he dropped dead of a heart attack. You think of Drazen Petrovic, who was just also entering his best years. I think he was 28 years old when he was killed in an automobile accident all the way back in, I think it was June of 1993. All right, so, there's others. You think of, so many other athletes out there who died prematurely. You know, Vernon Forrest. I don't think he was 35. I think he was like 34 or something like that. Vernon Forrest, when he was murdered, I think it was 10 years ago now. That's how long ago it's been. You know what I'm saying? One of the best boxers of his generation. So there's many people who were not fortunate to even reach the age of 35 years old. So that in itself, especially being a black man in this country, is a bit of a blessing, unfortunately. And he's been doing it, LeBron James, he's been doing it for a while, man. He was recently voted the AP Male Athlete of the Decade. He got that award over Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? I don't have problems with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with that. You could give it to Tom Brady, I guess. And this is coming from a rabid Tom Brady hater. But, LeBron James, it was well due for him. And look, LeBron James has been playing at a high level for 17 years. For 17 years, LeBron James has been playing at an ultimately high level. Now, is he the same guy that we saw his first stint with Cleveland or Miami or when he came back to Cleveland? No, he's not that guy anymore. He's past his prime, but he's still good enough to be in my opinion, top 10 player. Now, there's some people who will say that they think he's the MVP, like Stephen A. Smith. I don't see that. I think that Anthony Davis makes life a lot easier for LeBron James with Lakers. Okay, if you take away Anthony Davis from the equation, then LeBron James, no. I would be. I honestly believe if you take Anthony Davis away from the Lakers, that the Lakers would probably be like a seventh seed, maybe sixth seed. I think they would be somewhere in that vicinity. They'd still be a really good team, but they wouldn't be what they are without the dimension that you have with Anthony Davis. All right, but you gotta give LeBron James his props. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I first heard LeBron James. I think I was reading like a Slam magazine back in 2001. Everybody was talking about this guy who was the best high school player in the country. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, they always say this guy's this and that. And he doesn't pan out to be whatever the fuck they talk about. But LeBron James has been a real deal, man. When I saw him in that McDonald's All-American game back in 2003, it was like watching a man playing amongst boys. And I remember watching him then and saying to myself, this guy is going to be a beast. This guy's not a bust. You know what I'm saying? And he delivered, unlike Lonzo Ball. And don't come to me about this, and I know Ticket talked about this shit. Yeah, Lonzo had 27 points. Okay. Yeah, 27 points. All right. Damn near had triple-double. But when you do it against a scrub-ass team, like the Houston Rockets, when they didn't have either James Harden or Russell Westbrook, you can miss me with that shit. All right. Just because a bum has a good game doesn't all of a sudden mean that he's still not a bum. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Glass Joe was 1 in 99, right? But he beat somebody. But that still don't mean that he ain't a bum. I'm pretty sure if you go back and look at uh, what's his name, Kwame Brown. I'm pretty sure if you look at Kwame Brown's career, somewhere down the line, Kwame probably had a 30-point game, right? But just because Kwame had that 30-point game against, the Phoenix Suns or some shit, does not all of a sudden erase all of the, underwhelming performances that he had prior. He's still a bum. Although I would rank actually Kwame better than Lonzo. You know what I'm saying? It's just that with Kwame, he was number one ranked. So you expected superstardom or at least all-star level play from him. He was mediocre at best. You know what I'm saying? Lonzo, I wouldn't even call him mediocre. He's subpar. He's a bum. So yeah, but back to LeBron though, man. He's been phenomenal for the last 17 years. My only problem I have is when guys like Nick Wright and Chris Broussard and Colin Cowherd might say something like, "We've never seen a guy play at this level at age 34, 35." That's when I get annoyed because I'm like, look, have you forgotten Michael Jordan? His last year with the Chicago Bulls, he led the league in scoring, right? He won his fifth and final regular season MVP, and he had some of the most memorable playoff performances that postseason, and won his sixth and final championship. Kobe Bryant, in his 17th season as well, carried the Lakers to the playoffs. He had a much heavier load than LeBron did. All right, he averaged 27, I think 6 and 6 or something like that. All right, in his 17th season, and was doing it on both ends of the court too. You know what I'm saying? Not just one end, on both ends of the court. But the wheels fell off toward the end, and he ruptured his Achilles. He was never the same player after that. Bill Russell, 1969, his last year in the NBA, he averaged 10 points, 19 rebounds per game. Well, that was a big score. He only averaged 14 points per game, but he led the Boston Celtics to an upset over the heavily favored Los Angeles Lakers in 1969 NBA Finals. And Wilt Chamberlain, when he was 34, 35 years old, which wasn't his last season, by the way, Wilt averaged something like 20.7 points. I think it was 20.7 points, 20 rebounds, 4.5 assists. You know what I'm saying? Phenomenal fucking numbers, man. And last but not least, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, when he was 35 years old, shot 59% from the floor, averaged like 22 points, 8 rebounds. Now, Kareem, toward the end of his career, wasn't as dominant rebounder as he was earlier because he was losing some of his mobility. He didn't want to he didn't want to, he had other guys to kind of take up the slack for rebounding. All right, but yeah, LeBron's having a great year, but let's not forget that there have been other players who played well, who played very well late into their NBA careers. You know what I'm saying? So, hell, even Charles Barkley, the year that he turned 35 years old, he was the third option, I think. Averaged 15.2 points, 11.7 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1 steal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's my only problem with that. You know what I'm saying? But I also have a theory, too, as to why the media is, like, just super soaking LeBron's dick this year. I mean, we've all noticed that the media hype up LeBron and talk about him constantly, but it seems a bit excessive this year, more so than ever before. And I think it's partially due to a couple of reasons. I think number one, of course, he's with the Lakers, so they're always going to talk about him more. So the Lakers are a big market. They talked about him before, but LeBron was playing with Cleveland. But now they're going to talk about him even more so because he's with the Lakers. All right, a lot of Laker fans out there, huge market. So they're going to talk about him. And LeBron's not only a popular figure, but he's also controversial. It brings a lot of traffic out there. All right, to social media sites, just in the conversation. But also, I think they're kind of trying to take up the slack a little bit, which is that vacuum that's left open with the loss of Zion Williamson. I think that the main themes and narratives this season was going to be what the Lakers are going to do in LA and how Zion Williamson is going to dominate the league. But with Zion Williamson out, that conversation is gone. So it's like they don't really have anybody else they can talk about. Kevin Durant's not playing now. The Golden State Warriors, they're not a factor right now. Kawhi, yeah, he's there, but we already know how some of those guys in the media don't really want to talk about Kawhi for whatever reason. And Kawhi doesn't have that type of personality anyway. That's sort of, he just doesn't have that personality where people really want to talk about him like that. The last time they really were on Kawhi was when they thought he was going to join the Lakers. But immediately after he decided to join the Clippers, all these other guys just turned their backs on him, whatever, right? So I think they're taking up the slack by just talking about LeBron and Lakers even more excessively than normal. All right, that's part of it. And I think another part of it is there's this realization that this is it. Sort of like with the Bulls and Jordan with the media in '98. There was, even though it wasn't official, most people kind of got the impression this is the last year for the Bulls. So we got to milk this. Now, this isn't the last year LeBron's going to play. This isn't the last year that he probably will be the Lakers. But there's this feeling that this might be it for LeBron. If he don't win a championship this year, it might not happen again. These other guys are coming, all right? Giannis, these guys are figuring it out. Their paths are driven. They're getting to the point where these guys are going to take what LeBron has. I mean, actually, these guys already have taken what he had. LeBron hasn't won a championship for 3 years, but the media give you the impression that he was a championship every fucking year. But the guy that they really fear is Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? The two guys that they really fear are Kevin Durant, who has absolutely no fear whatsoever of LeBron James, and Kawhi Leonard, who has absolutely no fear whatsoever of LeBron James and has dominated him overall. 8-3 in the regular season, 7-5 in the playoffs, 5-0 against him in the last 5 regular season games. And in the playoffs, Kawhi's 55% shooting and 45% three-point shooting against LeBron James. He kills him one-on-one, and LeBron knows it in the back of his head. Those are the two guys the media fear. And surprise, surprise, those are the two guys that the media, well, the big wigs, the big guys, Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, all those guys, those are the guys they tend to castigate and talk negatively about more so than any other players. But the thing is, they kind of know this is the last year. Because if the Lakers don't win the title this year, LeBron's not going to get the blame, most likely. They're going to find blame with other players, like they normally do. And Anthony Davis, if Anthony Davis gets a sense that they're going to blame him for everything, he's gone. He's gone. He's not going to stay there. You know what I'm saying? And because he's a free agent anyway after this season, he might go to the Bulls or something. That's a name that's a team that keeps popping up. And if LeBron's not able to get someone to play with him at this stage of his career, a big name, and it seems like nobody really wants to play with him like that, then it's over. his championship days are pretty much done. He's just going to be one of those. He's just going to be a really good player on a mediocre team. So this is it. This is why the media is cheering him on so badly, because they know this is it. If he does not win a championship this year, it's it. That's it. That's it. The other guys are coming. Durant comes back next year. Giannis is going to be one more year experienced. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi wants it. He wants it bad. Kawhi wants another championship. All right? Anthony Davis is the only thing that's keeping these other guys away. You know what I'm saying? Fuck what all the media says, man. Anthony Davis is the only guy that can give LeBron James a fourth NBA championship. And if they win a championship together, then that would convince him to stay. Then you could do something. But if they don't win a championship this year, if the Clippers beat the Lakers, especially if the Clippers beat Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, it's a wrap. But having said that, I still want to wish LeBron James a happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? Many more to come. And he's one of the greatest players in the history of the NBA.